Excellent.
Yep.
We have a couple chat in there. Well, welcome everybody. Happy fall convocation. Congratulations to our new admits, to our returners, and our researchers, our new advisors, the continuing advisors. Is this year 4 of ASDRP or year 5, Edward? What would you say?
4. This is year 4.
Year 4. So 4 years, a couple of years with unusual circumstances, but you know, that's what we're here all about, is to help ourselves. But we're really glad you're here tonight, and welcome to the fall semester. We had a wonderful summer semester, went by very fast, and the school year kicks off and really takes us in a whole new direction. And one of the things we wanted to do this year that's new is have a convocation where we get a chance to welcome everybody, say hello, introduce ourselves, and kind of kick off with the whole tone for the year. And we realized as we were speaking about this, so we really have 3 groups of students. We have 1, our new students, which are brand new, learning how to do everything. 2, we have the students that are somewhat new and they're still getting their feet wet.
Okay, 4.
And then 3, we have our returning researchers who have been with us for quite a while that are just chomping at the bit and trying to get things going even further and to push themselves further. So with those 3 distinct groups that we have, we really try to work with everybody and help kick everybody off and bring everyone together in many, many ways. So we encourage our seasoned researchers to really embrace our new researchers and help them and get them engaged and really help them through the process. And for our ones that are, you know, in the middle, kind of in between, looking up and looking back, you know, you kind of have a special place in the midst of where you want to go and where you've been. So that kind of encouragement can be seen on all sides. And more than anything, just remember through all of this, your advisors are your #1 resource for everything you need at ASDRP. Obviously, we're here to help you with administrative things and payments and other stuff that comes up, but your advisor is your go-to person on your project, on the expectations and everything you need that way. And I'm really excited to be able to welcome everybody. Glad you're here tonight.
And David, we can probably make this interactive too. So maybe, why don't we do this? If you are brand new, can you do a digital hand raise? How many of you are brand new? I think you can react, right? Look at that. Welcome to ASDRP. I like the different colored hands. And on the flip side, how many of you have been in ASDRP for over, let's see, over a year? Let's start with over a year. Who's been here for over a year?
ASDRP meeting.
ASDRP meeting. Somebody should mute themselves. Who's been here for over a year? Some people have been here for over a year and they're still not raising their hand. Good. Welcome back. We're so glad you're still with us. How many of you have been here for over 2 years? Fewer number. But there's still some. That's good. That's awesome. People are still jumping in. Okay.
No, we have quite a few. 7 raise of hands. We have any 4 years? Any 4-year people?
Some people are still raising their hands who are not 4 years. I know that there's
like it.
Here for 4 years. That's awesome.
I like it a lot. I think, you know, for those of you that are brand new and going to be heading off to college next year, fall 2022, convocation is one of those things that you do at a university quite a bit to welcome everyone back and to kick off the year. There's an organization with different departments and different specialties and things like that. You know, we're right in line with that kind of thinking and that kind of engagement. So we're really happy to be here tonight. Just real quick. So for those of you that may heard this before, just a reminder about ASDRP, who we are. You know, we're a nonprofit private research institution that provides opportunities for high school students throughout the Bay Area. And we probably want to add and beyond now that we have more and more outside the Bay Area to conduct high-level novel scientific research. Students participate in research projects across various subjects in STEM, including chemistry, engineering, biology, computational modeling, computer science, and much, much more. Just a nice reminder of who we are is a nonprofit private research institution. So we're very grateful. I say this all the time to our donors, to our parents, to our volunteers, to everybody that puts their time and energy into making this possible. And we're also very proud of the fact that we focus on high school student age. That's our focus. We've been approached by lots of different organizations to do different things. And, you know, the core of who we are and what we love and who we believe is the next generation is our high school students. So we're really proud of those who are joining us and really helping themselves by joining ASDRP. We're here to help. If you have any questions, I'm David Linevers, Director of Operations. Kind of do a little bit of everything. So if you need something, I can at least get you to where you need to go. Robert Downing. Rob, are you on the call?
Yes, that mute button is awfully tricky to find.
You want to say hello? I'll let you give your intro.
Multi-decade veteran of high tech. Been with the program since, I guess it was actually the fall of 2018, 2019. And I am the chair of the Computer Science and Engineering Department. I have projects as diverse as doing machine learning in search of drug discovery, as well as looking for potentially habitable exoplanets, or decrypting a medieval manuscript written in an unknown character set, and everything in between.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rob. Sahar?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Sahar Jahanikia. I'm the chair of Biological, Human and Life Sciences. I joined ASDRP summer 2021, and I'm so excited to be here tonight. My core domain is I do research on neuroimaging, cognitive neuroscience, neuroinformatics, and social psychology. Glad to be here tonight.
Excellent. And we have Edward.
Many of you who work in our wet lab are familiar with seeing me around. My group is mainly involved in synthetic organic chemistry and photosynthesis of narcotics, methodology, catalysis, things of that sort. It's a lot of fun to be here. I think I speak on behalf of Sahar, Robert, and everybody else who works as an advisor here. This is some of the most fun that we've ever had with our scientific training. It's a great pleasure to be working with all of you young, talented people.
Absolutely. Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Just a word about our organization too. We're divided into 3 departments that have a lot of variety within them, and it helps us, manage our projects, develop, research pipelines, and really help ourselves that way. So that's why we have our 3 leaders of our departments and their faculty all work within those areas. And there's a lot of cross collaboration too. But it just kind of gives you an idea of how things are broken down. So most of the projects fall within one of those 3 departments. And if there's, any other questions or things you have about those specific departments, I know Rob, Sahar, and Edward are always happy to help. And we're here for you more than anything. I'll let our department chairs talk about this kind of collaboration.
I'll start off, and then maybe Sahar has a few words to say about interdisciplinary science, and Rob, feel free to jump in as well. A lot of you here are, especially those of you who have been in ASDRP for a while, you've been working from one particular perspective in one particular arena. And it's a lot of fun to be doing science at the cutting edge, as all of you are doing, and all of you who are brand new will be doing in a few short weeks. But ASDRP is a very large organization. We've got several hundred research students, over 20 research active groups, probably close to 100 active research projects spanning basically 100 different areas of science or engineering or other sorts of scholasticism. And even though we're divided into 3 departments, there's a lot of cross-disciplinary work that occurs, and we encourage people to think broadly about the types of science that they're involved in and how their field interfaces with everything else. And this is one of the ways in which we get to see each other. As a chemist, it's great to see biologists, computer scientists, data scientists, astronomers, Lots of other people, even neuroimaging people here on this call. And we don't often get a chance to say hi to people on the other pond of research.
I just send the answers to
So-
all these. It's okay.
Interesting. Please mute yourself. So we want to give all of you a broad view of science, and certainly many of you who have been here for a while moved groups. How many of you, just by a show of hands, moved groups over the course of your time here at ASDRP? You started in one group, you moved to a different group. I see Hiji was the first one to raise her hand. I'm going to call out Hiji for a moment because she joined ASDRP wanting to do something psychology related and somehow got stuck in a synthetic organic chemistry group. Later on, she found her way back to a psychology group and now is working on some really cool stuff in the John Napier lab. And so it's great for all of you to explore different fields, and on behalf of the leadership at ASDRP, we want to create an environment that fosters interdisciplinary thought and fosters the ability to explore different fields. As all of you are, as you're getting closer to college, thinking about what you want to do when you grow up, it's good to be able to explore. I don't know if Sahar and Robert have anything to share.
Sure. I think it's a very unique program because before you really get into the college, you have no idea what you want to do. You have some interest, that, maybe I want to do chemistry, or maybe I want to do something about machine learning. But it is something that you have in your mind, and ASDRP is giving you this opportunity to actually, before you get into the college, you explore what is research, what is science, and you are actually doing the real science. By real, I mean these are the research that any advisor can bring to any universities, and other scholars will do that. So it's just not a very simplified project. These are all raw ideas that are shaping as we move on. We're trusting young researchers, basically the high school researchers, because we believe that once a person is getting advice in a right way, they can do it at any level. So this is a very great opportunity for you guys to explore different domain of science, from chemistry to biology to computer science, and find your interest. Actually, there might be something that you have never thought you are going to be interested in, and you get the chance to have a hands-on experience on that, and now add it to your resume, consider it as your skill, and apply to the college. So I really congratulate all you guys, whoever stay for longer time or who are new. So just welcome to the real science and have fun.
Yeah, I might further point out that this is what the scientific world looks like today. There aren't different silos where everybody works on a particular discipline and they're not required to have knowledge of other areas. The interconnectedness between the different branches of science is growing by leaps and bounds. So take advantage of this, like you were told by Ms. Janikia, and see what particular, maybe not regimes, but what particular paths you might find interesting.
I also want to point out that a lot of collaborative efforts and interdisciplinary work that happens here at ASDRP is a function of people who explore different fields and find ways to creatively integrate different things together. For example, that some of you here work on our collaboration between myself and Mr. Downing on a machine learning platform for drug discovery. That project was started by a research student who started out in my group and then wandered over to Rob Downing's group, thinking about chemistry, and then thinking about data science, and then thinking about ways to integrate machine learning and chemistry together. That is one of many examples of interdisciplinary collaborations that have been started by research students here at ASDRP. Okay.
Absolutely. Where we're from. I know we've seen this slide in different occasions, but for those of you who haven't seen it in a while, we're all from the Bay Area, Southern California, Sacramento. This summer we had some folks from Turkey, We have some folks from Vegas, Seattle, outside of Chicago, New Jersey, pretty much all, smattering in Texas, smattering throughout the United States now as well. We're definitely proud of that. We're very proud of the students, where they come from. And, we encourage the kind of remote research that we can offer, and we have people taking us up on it. So this is where our researchers come from. Just a little bit of snapshot.
And actually, by show of hands, how many of you are from outside of, how many of you are from outside of the United States? Anybody here from outside of the United States? I think we have 3 Canadians this fall. And
We have 4, nice.
Yeah, the Turks aren't going to make it.
how
many-
many of you are from outside of California?
Yes.
Some people didn't. Okay. Actually, if you're from outside of California, why don't you let us know in the chat window where you're from, where you're calling in from.
We have about 10
Cool
people.
for Texas, awesome. What part of Texas? Massachusetts, Michigan, Washington. Well, we got all corners of Canada. That's awesome.
I like Massachusetts and Canada. Yeah. What part of Canada? Big country.
Interesting. Vancouver, that's awesome.
Oh, very
Looks
nice.
like we have somebody from Toronto too. That's awesome. Well, welcome to ASDRP. It's awesome that we have digital platforms that allow us to connect across continents. So
I think we should celebrate once we have, from every state, we have 1 student.
that would be awesome. If we had 49 people from out of state, maybe more. So,
That's right. That's right. Now, I know tonight we also wanted to give everyone an opportunity to hear from our student researchers. I know we have a few joining us. Who do we have up first?
So maybe our student speakers can just share a very brief, I'll say brief one more time, brief insight about something that they've learned here at ASDRP. We've picked on some more senior researchers to share a little bit about what they've learned, and or some tips for new people, and or some insight on something that they found valuable here over the course of their time at ASDRP.
So I just do a correction. I have actually 5.
Oh, would you like to go first, Sarah? Go ahead.
Yes, I have a lot
too.
too. So I think, Aditya, you want to go first?
Sure, I can go ahead. So, hello everyone. I'm Aditya. I started with ASDRP the summer of 2021, so this summer. And currently, the project I'm working on at the Jahanike Neurolab is called fMRI-USIC. So, to first understand fMRI-USIC, we need to understand what fMRI is. So, I'm sure many of you have heard of MRI, MRI scans, and fMRI stands for functional magnetic resonance imaging. And it's a neuroimaging technique used to measure brain activity. And by using multiple neuroimaging tools and techniques, our group, we are pre-processing and analyzing a data set. And this data set comes from scans of participants' brains, and they were shown clips of a movie with different genres of music playing in the background. And the participants were asked to guess the genre of the piece of music with and without the video playing. Without the audio playing, sorry. So one goal of this analysis is to identify the networks of the brain associated to guess a music genre when there's just video but no audio. This project is also related to the brain's connection with music and the effects that music have on the brain. And both playing and listening to music have been found to increase the plasticity and strength of the brain. So with our project, we're aiming to understand and explain the role of the auditory network in musical genre association. This project has taught me a lot about just how the brain works, how music can affect the way our brain molds and grows, and also a lot with computer science, data analysis, and oh, grade in school. All right, so currently I am a sophomore and I go to Miraloma High School in Sacramento. So yeah, that's about it. This project has been really great. And if you're interested in neuroscience, I highly suggest joining our group.
Thank you so much, Aditya. So I think, who is second in my team? Hiji, is that you? Oh, okay, Gia, you go ahead.
I think it's me. Okay, so
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gia Oshowitz. I am a senior at Granada High School in Livermore, and I have been part of the ASDRP program for just over a year. So in addition to the connections that you form with other student researchers and our advisors in this program, ASDRP allows you to not only be exposed to real hands-on research, but you can be as involved and participate in as much research as you want in as many different areas as you want. So it's kind of more of like what you are able to handle and what you're interested in. I am currently working on 4 or 5 projects with different focuses, but today I am speaking as a member of the Human Connectome Project beneath Ms. Jahanakia's cohort. So the Human Connectome Project is a globalized effort within the scientific community to make a completed wiring map of the human brain. Once finished, the Human Connectome will be a baseline for future studies of brain connectivity during development, aging, and neurodevelopment, will aid in the study and classification of neuropsychiatric and neurological disorders, and will enhance the scientific community's ability to identify subtle links between genetics, connectivity patterns, and behavioral variation. Looking into this project for the first time can be overwhelming due to the massive amount of information that has been shared with the public, in addition to the existence of current and future studies building off this pursuit towards a standardized neurological map. Our group aims at creating a singular piece that brings the various pieces of the Human Connectome Project together into an engaging, easily understandable work. We aim at sharing these insights with anybody and everybody interested in neuroscience, neuroimaging, connectomics, and more, regardless of their scientific background. Together, we are working on writing a comprehensive and easily interpretable book that covers the history of the Human Connectome Project, information about the database established to share the collected data with the world, information about the various techniques and tasks used when collecting data, discussions about efforts towards the first completed wiring map of an organism, the future impact of the Human Connectome Project, and more. So we hope you'll keep an eye out for our book in the foreseeable future. And if you're interested in any of that type of neuroscience, neuroimaging, connectomics, things like that, look into our group. It's very exciting, and we have an absolutely incredible advisor. So thank you.
Thank you so much, yeah. Shashank, you go ahead.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Shashank Sastry. I am a researcher in Jahanakia in your lab, and I work in the Cognitive Train project. So what is the Cognitive Train project? Our goal is to essentially find amelioration of, dementia through using an app-based platform. So how are we supposed to do that? We use things such as cognitive training, right? But we use cognitive training in different methodologies, such as, say, music therapy in the form of karaoke, or we can use it in the form of actual cognitive training, such as exercises and brain games and stuff like you'd find in, say, apps like Brilliant and things, except it's translated to the point where we hypothesize that one day the application of our apps, cognitive training technology is literally going to create amelioration of metrics of dementia, such as CDR, clinical dementia rate. We expect to see like a better quality of life in patients who have dementia, and we're able to overall apply this platform for that purpose. Now, what are you going to want to do when you come into this lab? You're going to want to have a couple of things, right? When you come to this group, you're going to want to have, first of all, a large background in coding and programming. You're going to need to be able to pick up the Flutter platform as well as Dart to be able to work on this project. We use Flutter and Dart integral. They're integral platforms to our development of our app in the status quo. So you need to be able to pick up those platforms, but also you need to be a team player in this case. You need to be able to, collaborate and, execute on something that, say, Ms. Jahanakia puts up on Slack. And so that's what I'll leave you to, leave off. If you're looking for somewhere where you get to do a lot of coding, but at the same time you get to apply principles of neuroinformatics, and you also want to see some sort of, amelioration of dementia and other neurodegenerative diseases, I think, Cognitive Train is the right group for you. You should definitely consider, trying to get in here. It's a great place to work. And yeah, I'll leave you with one tip, check Slack, especially if you join this group.
Thank you so much, Shashank. So that's an example of how human sciences meet computer science. This is with collaboration with computer science department, and Professor Downing is the co-advisor on this project. So you get the chance to explore not only life science, but also doing something on computer science. So Hiji, go ahead with your presentation, please.
Hi, my name is Hiji Yoon, and I'm a junior at Amador Valley High School. And I've been at ASDRP since fall of 2021, and my research project in Sahar's group is a really cool project that aims to study the effects of the COVID-19 vaccine on sleep quality during the pandemic by assessing vaccinated and unvaccinated participants through a questionnaire we've developed. So this poster we made for our expo, and our group presented how we've been reading up on other studies that relate to COVID-19 and sleep to create an accurate questionnaire based on other questionnaires like the PSQI, BSQI, Sleep Insomnia Index to assess sleep. We haven't been able to collect any data yet, but that's what we're going to be getting into moving forward. But yeah, I really love that ASDRP gives me the opportunity to take on this really cool project. And to all the new people, it may be scary in the beginning, but all the advisors and student researchers are here to help you, and you'll be surprised at how much fun it is. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Hijib. Last but not least, Amrita, you go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Amrita and I am a sophomore at Amador Valley High School. I am a member of the Creative Influencer team under Jahanikia Lab. So our research group is creating an MCSMI, a novel assessment assessing the creativity of social media influencers. So creativity and creative assessments such as the CAQ and ICAA are used to determine how creative an individual is. Some assess to what degree of achievement someone has attained in a certain skill, whereas other assessments ask individuals to think of ways to repurpose or create something in a certain amount of time. These creative assessments assess achievements in different categories such as music, dance, art, design, fashion, etc., etc. The one category that's not present in these assessments is creative influencer. These are people who use social media to promote their creative skill. The aim of our study is to create an assessment that will determine whether an individual is a creative influencer, and we will possibly add this assessment to the pre-existing ones. So if you're interested in social psychology, please join, and this project will help you understand how to administer psychological assessments, and it will teach you how to collect human data in a safe way.
Thank you. That's all about my team.
Very nice. Who do we have next?
Rob, I'll let you go first unless you want. He wants to go first.
No, let me jump in here while I can.
All right.
I only have one that was able on short notice to participate, but Rithik, Mr. Pai, are you here?
Yes, I am.
All right. Mr. Pai has been with my group for, it's been over a year, hasn't it, bud? He's working in the, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was agreeing with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's working in the exoplanet group. He's currently a senior researcher in there, is contributing significantly to implementing Keplerian mechanics, but also is serving as a senior resource for other newcoming or incoming student researchers. So those of you that want to get into the exoplanet work, but not necessarily the mini black hole work, he's the guy in astrophysics to reach out for. Go ahead, Rithik.
Yeah, so Mr. Downing said, my name is Rithik. I'm a senior at Amador Valley High in Pleasanton, and I joined ASDRP, I think, summer 2020, and I immediately jumped into Mr. Downing's exoplanet group, and I've continued that group until now. So I think the one thing, or we have the two biggest things for new researchers are, one, coming with the mindset that you want to learn and you can learn, and two, especially for the fall, you have to lean on your team members. So from personal experience, like 1 week, I think last fall, I was just piled up with a bunch of tests, whereas my team members had a bit more free time. So I kind of pushed off my task to them because I had so much work from school. So I think that's the biggest thing, especially during fall, because you have school and ASDRP, is lean on your teammates when you're doing research, and also just come in with the ability to learn. Because when I joined ASDRP, I had minimal coding experience. Like I only knew Java, which is the tip of the iceberg in data science. So, and through like interaction with my team members and Mr. Downing, like your advisors have a ton of resources, so never be afraid to ask them. And using all of that, I was able to get like a really good grasp on data science and the research project.
Thanks, Rithik. All right, that's it for my group.
Yeah, I'll have some of my students share briefly about some of our science, and then we'll close off with one of my student researchers who's here for her 4th year, who migrated different groups, and she'll share some experiences and some perspective about different groups. So why don't we start off with Aishi and others who are going to talk about what they've learned over their time at ASDRP. If people can have their cameras on if you're in my group when you talk to, that'd be awesome. We'll make this brief, please.
Okay, so hi, my name's Aishi Rao. I'm a senior at Mission San Jose at the moment. And I've been part of ASDRP since the summer before my sophomore year. And some things I've learned from being in ASDRP for, well, this long. First of all, perseverance. Research isn't, like, you might expect something theoretically to happen very quickly, but research actually takes a lot longer, and it's not easy. So you shouldn't come in with a mindset that you're going to get results fast, because you're really not. So I guess just push through, and it's really worth it, because when you get the results you want, you'll think, oh, it was a good idea that I stuck through with it. And then also another thing is that I think Mr. Haneke also mentioned this, but ASDRP is a really valuable experience, because if you're not doing research like this, the only experiences in science you probably have are through your school, like your AP Chem class or something like that. But real science is actually really different, and it's, in my opinion, a lot more fun. So yeah, treat your time here well.
Okay. Do other people want to share? Maybe Elena, Xena, Celine, Alice, Treya, one of you can talk. One of you can talk about what we do here in this group.
I could just talk about what I've learned so far.
Sure.
So hi everyone, my name is Elena, and I'm a junior at Palo Alto High School, and I joined ASDRP back in January this year, and I'm in the Nigeria group. And because a fourth of the students at ASDRP this fall semester are brand new, I just wanted to share about my experience joining ASDRP and some tips that I've learned throughout my time here. And I remember when I first joined, I was really excited to start getting into research, but I also felt really lost because I had never learned anything about organic chemistry, and I had never used such advanced instruments before. And what really helped me was reaching out to other people in my group and making friends, because they helped me a lot with adjusting to the new environment. And they taught me a lot about the basics of organic chemistry, as well as how to use the different instruments. And I also recommend coming into the lab as often as you can, because it really makes a big difference in how quickly you get a hang of things. Like when I first started making an effort to spend multiple days in lab per week, I finally felt like I understood what was going on, in my subgroups and the science that we were doing. And doing such high-level scientific research was something that I never would have expected to have the opportunity to do in high school. And so I'm very grateful for ASDRP and for all the people that make this possible. And I hope everyone has a great fall semester.
Awesome. Celine, Xena, Alice.
Yeah, I'm Celine, and I'm a senior at Lee High School. At ASDRP, I've worked on a wide array of biochemistry-related projects. I began with biocatalysts and then more heavily explored physical organic chemistry, and now I'm dabbling in a bit of synthetic biology. But throughout all of these incredible projects, I've really been curious about exploring the chemical reactions that serve as the driving force of life within biological systems. I've learned how difficult synthesizing a single molecule can be. In fact, it took us a year to optimize a reaction to synthesize this small molecule called monastrol. And so I've been really curious about how cells are able to biosynthesize large classes of natural products that are orders of magnitude more complex. My advice is that research takes a lot of time. Like I said, it can take up to a year to get a single reaction to work. So be ready to commit that time and join projects that really captivate you. So committing that time becomes a lot easier. When I first joined ASDRP, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but my experience here has been really invaluable and transformative and has really strengthened my affinity toward research. And so there are a lot of opportunities here, and I suggest that you make really good use of it.
Take lots of NMRs. Okay. And Celine just won the Genes in Space contest not too many weeks ago. That's Celine. Xena, Alice, and then after that, Jesslyn, unless Shreya is at a camera.
So hi, my name is Xena and I'm a junior at Amador. I started ASDRP at the beginning of last school year, so also around this time a year ago. And I actually started out working in environmental biology, and now I work in Edward's group where I'm involved with multiple projects involving medicinal chemistry and synthesis of drug compounds. Definitely something I've learned with research definitely is the importance of planning. You can't just come into lab not expecting or not knowing what will happen or what you'll do and just hoping that, you know, everything will work out. It's definitely very important that you come into lab and you have an idea of what your project is. You already have talked to people, have already consulted with them about like what reactions you're going to set up or what you're expecting to see in your results. And that way you can make more efficient use of your time. And I think it definitely also works better when you run into problems, especially in research, which is very prominent at many times. There's a lot of reactions that don't work. And definitely another thing I've learned is a lot of troubleshooting and problem solving in the process. And, you know, troubleshooting I've learned shouldn't just be trial and error combined with planning. It should be very helpful it should be a pretty good learning process for you to kind of understand like what is happening and what you should fix the next time. And it's definitely also helped me in regular life, just kind of trying to go through my own difficulties. And like Aishi said, it's also better shown with research that science is a process and a journey rather than a simple subject that you have at school. You don't always know the answers, and that's the absolute fun of it. To kind of like end it off, I'll just say some of my tips are don't be afraid to ask questions. It's okay to feel intimidated and confused. I think that's actually a good sign because it means you're being challenged, and we're all here to learn and push our brains outside of our comfort zone. And also, I would say get accustomed to reading research papers and scientific documents or manuals. Those are pretty difficult to understand, and the more you get used to them, the more efficient you'll be when you're trying to, you know, learn more about your research or you're trying to kind of go through your project. Working in Edward's group has definitely let me made a clearer picture in my mind of working in the biomedical world, which has so many connections with what I'm currently working with, such as spectroscopy, computational modeling, chemical synthesis, things like that. So I'm definitely extremely grateful to ASDRP for providing me the opportunity to further my knowledge and to also kind of more understand my career goals in the future.
Okay, so Mr. Edward News Group, we're a synthetic chemistry group, but that really means a lot. You can do a lot of things with synthetic chemistry. You can delve into medchem, you can delve into catalysis, you can do kinetics, phys org, whatever you want, as long as you're building molecules. And we like to poke fun at our advisor and quote him that he said that if medicine were like software, then organic chemistry is the boot code. And that's exactly what we're doing in this group. So we're involved in a lot of different projects. And in this group, you really have the freedom to hop onto whichever boats you want to, hop onto 4 or 5 subgroups if you're up to it. In this group, it's all about how much time you're willing to put in and how much you want to do this. We certainly have a lot of fun groups. Any tips for new people? I think, okay, I love the location of our wet lab because there's a ton of fun places to go with friends around. If you're tired from troubleshooting a reaction that hasn't been working for like the past 4 months, don't worry, we've all been there. It sucks, but hey, go outside, get boba or ramen with friends. It'll all be okay. Yeah, research is a concerted effort. I hope everyone makes a lot of friends. Yeah, welcome to our group. How do I not share this anymore?
Shreya, do you want to share anything? Make it brief.
Hi, I finally got home.
I would also like to point out that Shreya has her own podcast, and if you want to listen to it, you can look it up.
Thank you, Edward. I really appreciate that. Yeah, hi, my name is Shreya. I'm a junior at Los Altos High School, and I started at ASDRP going into my freshman year, which was a really long time ago, thinking back. Wow. I've learned so much through all the subgroups that I've been a part of, but currently I am a part of the chemical neuroscience subgroup, which works on synthesizing analogs of a compound called rivastigmine, which is used to treat neurodegenerative diseases. It's a super cool project, and I really, really love everything that we're working on, as frustrating as it can be sometimes, as all my other group members have stated. We've all been there. But I guess 2 pieces of advice that I have. The first one is, you really get out of research what you put into it. If you put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, as much time as it's going to take to eventually get to the place you want to be, you're going to get there eventually. And so really just investing that kind of time is really important, I feel like. And I've definitely seen it through the research that I've done. And the second kind of thing is that I think you really know what you enjoy. If that's the kind of thing that gets you excited in the morning. You wake up thinking about like, hey, I'm gonna go make this compound today, and I'm so excited to troubleshoot this reaction, or to even just take an NMR, and things like that just kind of brighten up your day. So just thinking about those kinds of things, I feel like makes me realize how privileged I am to be part of this group and to be doing the kind of research that I'm doing. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. And then Jocelyn, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, hi. So my name is Jocelyn. I'm a senior at Mission, and I actually started at ASDRP just over 4 years ago. And I actually initially started in environmental science, where I worked on basically data collection of the carbon footprint of the school district near the area. The summer after that, I actually moved to biology, and I did some coliform bacteria stuff before I ended up in Edward's group, where I actually am now. And I currently work mainly on HIV and AIDS treatment through computational and synthetic methods. And I think one thing that I've learned from all that time in research is that you really have to want to do the research. You really have to go out there and participate and try your best, because the results aren't going to come knocking at your door, which is quite unfortunate. People have already mentioned that troubleshooting reactions can take months, sometimes even up to a full year, sometimes even longer. And I think it's important to remember that that applies not only to results, but especially to if you're entering a field that you're very new to, like chemistry, which I initially was. It can be scary to enter, and it can be scary to say that that's what you want to do and to actually try to be good at it. I think it's good to remember that you can ask people for help. You can also look for resources online, especially now with all the internet. So in short, I think be open to new ideas, be open to actually going to lab and trying to participate, because you will learn a lot if you try. And I remember way back when I first started in Edward's group, I initially was like, I'm gonna stay here for a week because I got transferred and I could leave at the end of a week, and then I will get out, because I did not want to do organic chemistry. It sounded scary, it sounded not fun, and I wanted to get out. But over time, I was more open to the idea and I began learning about it. And one story that Edward teases me about a lot is about extraction. So really briefly, all my chemistry synthetic lab people already know what I'm talking about. But really briefly, extraction is basically based on density. So you have 2 liquids and they have different densities. So they're not going to mix with each other and they're going to form different layers. And based on this, you can separate out different things in your reaction. So I was doing this one day and I separated out the 2 layers. And then I had in my hand 2 beakers full of stuff. And I did not know what the stuff was. And I spent about half an hour figuring out what the stuff was. Eventually, everyone had to sniff the solvent to figure out which one was the solvent and which one was water. And that's a really dumb story now looking back. But back then, realizing which one was solvent and which one was water was the biggest breakthrough for me that day. So just look forward to a lot of breakthroughs like that if you're open to learning. That's about it.
All right.
Very
David,
well
we can
said.
probably go back to that slide deck. Thank you all.
Very well said. Thank you so much to our student researchers for sharing. And that's just a few of them. We have over 400 this year, and we know each one of you brings a unique piece to the table. We're really proud of you for that. So thank you, researchers, for sharing. I'm going to share my screen again. Just 1 second here. All right, we got our student researchers. So a few things that we've covered already is we did talk about Convocation. That's new this year, and we'll be doing that probably each term as we kick off. Another change we have is Colloquia, Parent Fireside Chat, and Seminar Saturdays. There's a detailed slide that I'll go into of each one. This year for Colloquia, it's only 1 day, but it's 90 minutes. So we're gonna have 1 student speaker from each department. Attendance is mandatory for everyone. I know there's been a few questions back and forth with parents as far as what if they can't make it? Well, it's mandatory, so it's part of being part of ASDRP. So even tonight, everyone should be on this call because we've made that pretty clear. And again, please show up and support your fellow student scientists. If you're presenting, or if your friends are presenting, or people you want to get to know, it allows you to become a better presenter and a better scientist. So it's only on Tuesdays from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And your advisors will be reaching out to those of you who will be presenting, and we'll be working with you on that. So that kicks off next week. We're really excited about that. For those of you who have been part of ASDRP, remember we had 3 different dates, but we really wanted to break that down and simplify it, especially for the school year, and help ourselves make it a little easier on all of us that way. So we're excited about that. So that change. Again, we already said, what's the point of attending? Support your researchers, fellow researchers, learn about the other fields, and develop scientific acuity and critical thinking. Listen, the more you hear other people talk about their science, the better you become at understanding your own science and talking about it as well. And you know, there's a lot of aha moments when you're listening. So just take that into account as you think about that. Saturday seminars once a month starting September 25th. A lot of our research, as you know, involves soft skills and technical skills, but we want to develop your soft skills to help you become a better writer and communicator, help you work better in teams and groups, help you develop your scientific networking. We're going to have some guest speakers. You know, we talk about time and stress management. It's like those things that we need to help ourselves to that next level that never quite go away. One of the things we did last year with our freshmen, and we'll continue to do, is we work with everyone on their 1-minute kind of elevator pitch about their research. And the reason that's helpful is because when people ask you about what you have, how can you quickly tell them and keep their interest? You know, we're constantly promoting our own work, we're constantly promoting our own research, and we just want to make sure you have the ability to do that as well. And that's what our Saturday seminars will be about, and that's going to be once a month. And then we have every other week, every Wednesday, bi-weekly for parents. We kick off next week is our parent fireside chat, where we talk about research expectations, what's next, what the writing process looks like, juggling different things, how to manage the expectations and what it means to be brand new to it, or if you have a returning researcher. Just general topics that we want to focus on that we've heard a lot from different parents. And also it's our way of getting to know you better and your way of getting to know us. You know, we really want to hear from you, and we'd love for our parents to be involved. And that's why we're here too. So please join us for that.
I just want to close off with a few points that have already been made so eloquently by a number of our student researchers. These are just some general reminders that all of you know, I think, in your minds, but I want to make a little connection between what you know in your mind and what you put into practice. First of all, you get out what you put in. There's no limit to how much time, effort, and energy you spend doing research. And the quality and quantity of the results that you produce are going to be a function of the amount of time, effort, and energy that you put in. Research is hard work. I know that as a scientist myself. Everybody else here knows that, who's been through research. And you get out what you put in. So get ready to work hard, get ready to work a lot. Working as part of a group is hard sometimes. This is why we have things like Saturday seminars this year, to address some of the things that we see come up in groups, such as communication, such as work ethics, such as integrity. And these are all great learning experiences. And sometimes the bigger learning experience is not just the technical skills, but also how to work as part of a professional research group. Thirdly, time and mind balance. I know those of you in my group, we had a big discussion about this last week. You are all busy people, and all of you here on this call live double lives as student researchers and as high school students. And what that means is, in order to be successful in ASDRP, you need to think about how we're going to budget time, effort, and energy across your schoolwork, SATs, APs, things like that. Maybe sports, some of you play sports, maybe musical instruments, some of you are musicians here. Maybe some of you are involved in school clubs. I know, Shreya, you have your own podcast, and people who are successful are able to balance their different responsibilities. So think about time and mind balance. Make sure that you're committing enough time to being productive in your research group. Okay. I don't know if Sahar and Rob have anything to add about these things.
No, other than welcome all you new people. You've been told, take it to heart. It's intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. You'll do fine, and welcome aboard.
I would like to wish everyone a very happy starting to the research. So these are real, as I mentioned before, these are real research projects. And I'm very excited for all of you to taking this big milestone step in your life. Trust me, it's going to have a very great impact on your resume, on your skills, on your future. And wish everyone luck. Welcome aboard.